Hey, how's everybody doing today? I wanted to come to you and do one of my favorite things. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I hope everybody's going to have a great day, and I don't really have a big dog in the fight for the game tonight, but I'm looking forward to a good game. I wanted to do some flank steak today. I had some recommendations out there, people asking what their menu is going to be and what they're going to do and cook, and the leading vote getter was my wife. She told me that I had to do flank steak today, so that's what we're going to do. So I want to show you how I'm going to do this and set this up and seasonings and everything. So I got two really nice flank steaks here, and I've already trimmed them up. And I think that is an important thing. With flank steak, it's very thin, right? And I'm going to show you how to grill this later and what that's going to look like. But it's real important when you do this. Flank steak's very thin. When you grill it, there's two problems flank steak has. You can overcook this, and it can get very tough, and it can get very dry, because that's where the marinade is going to come in. So let's talk about that real quick and how I'm going to do this. Me and Baby Yoda are going to teach you, okay? My favorite drink cupper at the moment. So I've got a marinade going right here. I've got some seasoning, some salt, and some different things over here. Most important, there's really two big ingredients you're going to need to start with. That's fat and an acid. So your fat today is olive oil. Now, fat's going to do a real important thing. It's going to flavor our meat, especially with the olive oil, but it's also going to help the meat retain moisture. And that is huge when it comes to flank steak, because it dries out very quick if you overcook this. So you really want this to be a moist, great piece of meat. Other thing about flank steak that I really like, it's just a really cost-friendly cut of meat too. You're not doing filet mignon, you're not doing other things out there, New York strip. You can really make this affordable and taste unbelievable with flavor. So we talked about fat, I've got olive oil. The other thing I'm doing is apple cider vinegar. Now that vinegar is an acid. That acid is very, very important, because what that's going to do, that's going to tenderize our meat, and it's going to make it much more tender, and it also acts as an antioxidant, I believe, as well. So when you're doing this, your ratio of fat to your acid needs to be about 1 to 3. 1 part acid to 3 part olive oil or part fat. So I've kind of got that going in here. Now the next part of that is really up to you. You should have fun with this. That's what it should be. Cooking should be fun. So you need to pick out the seasonings that you love the best. I've got some seasonings over here. I've got garlic powders, I've got chili powder, I've got Italian seasoning. Turmeric is a really big one. It's also an antioxidant or anti-inflammatory. And I've also got chili powder here too. I've got stone ground mustard, I've got Louisiana hot sauce, I've got a little bit of Worcestershire, and I've also got some soy sauce. I love the soy sauce when you're doing flank steak. I love that flavor profile, but soy sauce also adds some salt. And that's very important too, because salt is it's going to make a flavor explosion. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off with this real quick. I'm going to got a little fat, and I'm going to get a little of this on here. People ask us all the time, and for those out there that don't really know, I'm a health coach. I do things with my wife, and we really have helped a lot of people change their lives in many ways. And they always ask us all the time, they kind of throw out the word diet. And I hate that word, because diets fail. And that is not what we do whatsoever. The program that we do, it's a lifestyle changing program. We use peak Himalayan sea salt here, so please use that. And the one thing people always talk about too, when you're doing a diet, they say, well, I can't eat really good foods. I'm going to have to eat carpet, lint, and cardboard. That's what my diet is going to consist of. And you're going to have to deprive yourself over many, 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 many things. Well, that is not true whatsoever. Look at what we're having today. This is totally protocol. We're going to stay away from, things we shouldn't have. We're going to limit the sugar intake that we're going to do too. And that's a really thing to think about when you're doing marinades. Marinades can typically have things like sugar in them. Well, today we're really not doing that. Ketchup is a big culprit of that. A lot of people will marinate with ketchup or barbecue sauces, which have tons and tons of sugar. So we're going to kind of stay away from that a little bit. We're going to come back in a little bit, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do with this and how we're going to cook this, because that's a really big, important part of this as well. So we'll come back in a little bit, and we will go from there. All right, we're going to put our little marinade in over this. I'm using a big container here today. Some people really like to do Ziploc bags, which is great. No mess up. You can throw these bags away, but my steaks are a little bit big. So the one important ingredient I didn't mention here, the one thing I really love is garlic. I think that's a great flavor component right here. So I have, whole garlic in here, and what we're gonna do is put this out. Now with a marinade, like I said before, typically I like to have things marinate overnight, but when you're, especially with Super Bowl Sunday, I wasn't necessarily able to do all of that. So what we're gonna do is marinate this for about 3 to 4 hours before we actually get to the grill. Should have a really wonderful flavor profile by that time. Okay, back again. And we're continuing on with the flank steak. Real excited to get this on the pit. Now, the one thing I'm gonna tell you about cooking flank steak, you wanna get your grill as hot as you can get it. That's a real important thing about it because flank steak is very thin. It's gonna cook very fast. Now, we really love things to be medium rare. So I think the internal temperature for flank steak is about 135 degrees. So we will be checking that as we go through this. But we want to cook it about 10 minutes tops. So that's going to mean anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes per side. Now that's all going to depend on how hot you get your fire. So like right now, I'm about 575 right now on this grill that my dad actually built years ago that I had refurbished. Really, really proud of that. But I'm excited to get this on. We're gonna have a little follow-up once we get this off because we're gonna talk about the importance of letting meat rest. Anytime you're searing, grilling, anytime you're doing meat, you need to let that meat rest for as long as you grilled it. So like with this, we're gonna keep this on for about 4 minutes aside probably because I have my temperature is getting close to 600. We're gonna let it rest anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes probably because we're gonna wanna retain all those juices of what we're doing. If you try and take meat off the grill right away and slice into it, all those juices are just gonna run all over the place. You need to let that meat rest. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So like, let's watch, let's get this on. Wow, hot, that is hot. Woo! Close that up. I'll see you in a minute. I'm real excited about this because like this is the best part of the whole thing. You can take a look down here. These came off. I had my fire really hot, so I really only kept it on about 8 minutes because I was looking, at everything and I kind of filling everything. And a lot of my years in the restaurant business really helped me out because I have a passion for cooking and I was able to get the temperature just right. Hopefully, we're gonna cut into this and check this out, but we have let this rest now for about 10 minutes now. Even though I only cooked it for about 8 minutes, I let it rest for about 10. So this should be perfect and ready to go and real excited about it. So let's take a look at this. Now the one important thing about flank steak, you can kind of see the lines running across here. You do not want to cut it this way. You want to cut it across this bias like this. And don't cut it like this. You want to kind of come at an angle. Let's take a look at this one. We cut this at an angle here. Ooh. This is just exactly what we want to see when we're cutting this. We want to see a little bit of pink in the middle. And look at those, juices aren't running everywhere, but it is just about perfect. About 135 in the center. Excited to have this for dinner. We're gonna share a little bit of this and that's about all I can say. I'm excited to eat dinner.